Jeff.
So to go back, going back to courts and stuff like that, perjury is rampant in family courts. But you talk with people and they say, oh no, that perjury doesn't happen. We have all these laws to prosecute perjury. That in theory we do. I guess I'd like to hear your comments on perjury, what you would do to stop it. In fact, I had one person who told me, do you really want us to go after perjury when we could go after, and of course they take the worst case scenario, there's these men that are raping little 10-year-old people, girls and boys, and I'm like, okay, you take the worst case scenario. My thought is this, you start prosecuting perjury, and all of a sudden that's going to, oh wow, you know what, perjury no longer has the benefit that it once had, because perjury never gets prosecuted. So I guess I want to get your thoughts on the idea of perjury in our courts today.
You're absolutely right, and perjury is harder than interference with child custody. It's a third-degree felony. It's 2 to 10. Get someone's attention there. And again, it goes back to the evidence, goes back to statement under oath, and then you have, you said this, that, or the other, but we even have politicians that say, oh, I misspoke. Remember, I misspoke. But it's the strength of the evidence. We can go after the perjury, but I think the best thing to do in this regard is to nip it in the bud and proceed with the interference with child custody cases. And then you won't have the perjury fight. Because ultimately, you don't want what is best for your children. Absolutely. And you don't want the other parent incarcerated for perjury or anything like that. You want to do that. You want to grab it. Come on now. But you just want to get their attention so it stops so you can be a parent. Yeah. So, I think that's the goal, is to enforce that law. You
also have situations that occur when children are above the age of 18, or when, a person, and I can use a personal example, I won't go into the details, but when somebody gets up on the stand and tries to get a protective order enforced upon you that is complete nonsense, lies to the court, I've got the manuscript evidence, I went to somebody, oh, you know what, this is not a big deal, we're not talking about perjury, alleged perjury, but that's no big deal, not in Texas. I could not believe it, and unfortunately, I hate to say this because I am a very conservative Christian. I want to believe in the integrity of the courts. I want to believe in the application of the law, but I can't. And that is a systemic problem that I see in the state of Texas. Go ahead.
And that's a systemic problem here in this current administration. And that's exactly why I want to run, and then you can have faith back in this administration.
Thank you.
Okay, so I am trying to do that. But it goes back to, we all want what is best for our families, for our home, and let's get there and keep safe. And then let's prosecute hard the one who is raping the 10-year-old girl. Heck yeah, you got to go, and you got to go yesterday. Okay? So I want to do that. So if families can stop doing that and interference with child custody, that's one thing. I also want to mention, that's where my experience comes into play, Jeff, because perjury is one thing, but there's also tampering with government record. There are all kinds of laws on the books, and my opponent doesn't know all that. So there's things that I can do to make sure that stops as well, that I can address those issues, remedy those issues, and get a solution that is safe for everyone.
What about attorneys? Because I have seen times that I've thought that attorney is intentionally spinning a tale, a story. I've gone to the place that I said, if I want truth, you will not find it in the courtroom, because they will shut you down and object for all sorts of reasons when you start to tell the truth. And the naivety of most people, myself included, I thought, if I just go into the courtroom and tell the truth, that's going to be enough.
It's funny you say that, because I've been an attorney now for about 21 years. My first trial, in my little Christian pea brain, decades ago, I thought that when someone took an oath, they were going to say the truth, and that the angels of the Lord were going to come down and put their hands on their shoulders, and miraculously the truth was going to come out of their mouth. And I sat there and I was questioning the guy, and I was waiting for Jesus to come down, and nothing happened. I was like, oh, that's my job, okay. But attorneys are doing their job. When you say spinning their story, they're defending and advocating for the client. That's another fine line. That's another fine line. That's why you need counsel that is effective and has researched a case. We close down shop in my office for a week to get ready for a case, because we want to make sure that we do the best thing for our clients. And in this particular case, the best thing for my clients is going to be the Ellis County residents. So will I do it? Of course. I mean, there's 43 people in that office. We should be able to take care of everyone's business.
So what do you think about having alternative courts in play? For example, Tony Evans Church, they actually have a church court. And they do make recommendations to the court, but they said as Christian believers, you're not supposed to take your case to non-believers. You should have people within the church that you should handle it to. And what I find is that some of the typical response is we go to the courts, go to the courts, go to the courts. What do the courts know about my family? If I've made a marriage commitment that is a religious commitment, why is the court, as an actor for the state, interfering in my religious liberty? And I think that there are issues there that possibly, from my perspective, we can at least investigate or at least look into. You may not be able to at your level. I don't know all the ins and outs about that, but I think that we've got to also get away from either the overcriminalization of people, or you can defend yourself, you can appeal this. Yeah, well, $50,000 later, which I don't have, and if you don't have the money, you lose. And going back to the attorney's thing, yes, I understand the attorney's position is to defend his or her client. But at the same time, it's not to convict an innocent person or to have an innocent person receive punishment. So that's where I'm trying to go with some of these things. And I'll try to not ask any more questions.
No, I appreciate it. I think you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language. It's certainly something that I'm open to discuss with other judges and see if it's something. But, give unto Caesar what is Caesar. There are laws on the books to keep everyone safe. And, God is omnipotent. We continue to pray and ask for guidance and wisdom in our courts and everything else. I think it was my husband passed away in 2017. I started a prayer group in our courthouse in 2015 just to pray that the Holy Spirit take control of this courthouse. And his answer was, I want you to run. So this is where I'm at today because I am open to all that, what you're talking about. Okay.